And we're back, season 4, episode 8 of your Leaders Only digital show and podcast, brought to you here by Tone Drone TV and What It Changed Mentoring Inc. Today we'll be discussing uh, fentanyl cases and problems that's going throughout the world and the DMV area and beyond. Um, as always, we ask that you please invite your friends, have a watch party. We ask that you like, subscribe, comment along the show. If you miss us, you can always hit pound replay in the comments section and always catch up on any show. We always have our shows reposted, so you can always catch them, the replays. And anything else, you can email us at leadersonly22@gmail.com. I am your host, Kendall.
And I am Samaj.
And man, we are ready to dive into a magnificent show. We kick it off like this. Fentanyl is a synthetic opium that is up to 50 times stronger than heroin and 100 times stronger than morphine. It's a major contributor to fatal and non-fatal overdoses in the U.S. There are two types of fentanyl: pharmaceutical fentanyl and illegally made fentanyl. Both are considered synthetic opioids. Uh, Pharmaceutical fentanyl is prescribed by doctors to treat severe pain, and especially after surgery and for advanced stage cancers.
Overdoses are on the rise across the country and right here in the DMV. A student at Wakefield High School was found unconscious in a school bathroom suffering from an overdose. A similar situation played out in Montgomery County Public Schools. With a renewed focus on fentanyl-related deaths among young people, we are now seeing the drug epidemic move to social media, and many parents have no clue it's happening. Alex Neville was a 14-year-old Boy Scout, a skateboarder, and even had his own business selling childhood toys. But as a new high schooler looking to fit in, Alex was experimenting with drugs. He had his funky 10 days in June of 2020 where things were just really off. And his mother, Amy Neville, said his mother, Amy Neville. Days later, Alex died after taking oxycodone laced with fentanyl. He got the pills from a drug dealer on Snapchat. Here's how the drug dealers use Snapchat and Instagram to reach kids. Emojis and keywords are linking kids directly to drug dealers on platforms like Snapchat and Instagram. There are more than 50 involved encrypted communication platforms and social media apps, including Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, WhatsApp, Telegram, and more. The days of needing to go in some dark alley to get drugs, now you can just go online, and young people especially are going online.
Of course, that's always not possible to do. So forget recommending that parents talk to their children about the topic as much as they can. In another move, in response to the apparent overdoses, the Arlington Addiction Recovery Initiative held training sessions on how to administer. Help me with that. Naxalone, a life-saving drug that can reverse an overdose.
We want to continue to encourage you to be the best you can be physically, mentally, and emotionally by eating right, getting the right amount of sleep, meditate, and remember the suicide hotline emergency number is 988. So don't hesitate if you're struggling.
Yes, sir. So, man, just giving a rundown of how I feel about some of these situations. Always, we know that the drugs most of the time are used for severe cases. It's always the wrong usage or the wrong activity or indulgement with this drug is what caused it to be the illegal part, or the overdoses or the misuse, the misbehaviors with these drugs. So I'm one fan of not using drugs anyway, like of getting hurt, like medical drugs, anything that can like cause you to be um, needy of that. I'm really against it. So it's like a mixed emotion with me because like yeah, it's over the like it's a prescribed drug. You know what I'm saying, to help people. But then you have, you take it to the streets and they're using it in an illegal manner. And in the streets, man, people don't have an age code. It's about the green. Um, and it's sad that it's that way. And the way social media and all these platforms let you use things, and uh, it's kind of hard for a parent to control it. Um, like we always preach, things start in the household. Um, that's why we are so much of fans, and I appreciate my brother so much that recognizing certain things on social media and how we overshadow our niece. We can't overshadow all our family, but the ones that's immediate to us that we get to, that how we can shadow them, but and teach them what not to do. But yeah, that's tough, and definitely I'm against it. So yeah.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a different day and age and a different time when kids are more so relying on, or the youth is relying on harder drugs. Um, as far as like it being a pharmaceutical, um, all pharmaceuticals, they do have their own side effects, so you always have to keep that in mind, that whatever side effects are going to come along with the drug. So most of the time you're numbing whatever you're feeling, but it's not curing it, it's just treating it.
Hmm.
And then, if the pain keeps going and they continue to feel trauma or neglected or the lack of love, then that's when they go to harder drugs or harder drugs. Or like they were saying, with the peer pressure, I've seen that with a few players, uh, dealing with that this year, just with vaping. They hadn't gotten to the opioids yet, but vaping had become like one of the cool things that kids are passing to each other. They can share it, they can buy it, and multiple people can use it, more than just that one round. So it being that peer pressure, that's always a big thing, because a lot of times people want to do what they see their friends doing,
Right.
and it just so happens with this drug, you know, what your friends doing may be the last time that anybody can do it. You know what I mean? It may be an immediate overdose, and it actually hits home, with our family, because we've had two family members that committed suicide, be it on purpose or not. We don't know. But I do know that one of them for sure had some type of fentanyl involvement in it. Um, and I will always say, with this particular family member, I didn't want to be around no more, um, because I felt like the rest of the family was enabling this person, um, to continue to do everything they were doing. Not necessarily opioids, but they knew he was drinking, smoking, doing e-pills, doing this. So, and it was like, uh, make us laugh. You know what I'm saying? Come be the good time. You know what I'm saying? When the whole time that person is suffering. So, I feel like we should always, have conversations. Even if you're not the parent, but you're an adult, um, ask the right questions, to your nieces, nephews, or the younger people that are in your life, so you can have that group conversation with the parents. 'Cause like you said, one parent or two parents, they can't catch everything. And times have changed to where now, it's not like back in the day. You didn't have a computer in your hand at all times, especially at a young age. You can go to elementary school and see 8, 9, 7-year-olds have a phone,
Hmm.
and a lot of those websites don't have a age limit, to get to them, especially your Facebooks and your Snapchats and things of that nature. So all it takes is word of mouth, especially when it comes to party drugs or party favors.
Access.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you get
Easy.
to the access by asking people, and they passing it on. So if one person had a good trip, or they had a great price, then they just gonna pass it on. But
Yeah. It's definitely a new time, man. We're not living in the times, back in the days when we went to school, we couldn't have no phone. It's also good to pay attention, recognize the the effects of the physical. You could tell when somebody high. I know my mom used to be on our tail, man. She knew when we was high, knew we was smoking, she could smell it, all that. So just pay attention, don't ignore it. Um, Moving on, we always we want to encourage y'all and remind y'all to remain active in voting, um, in the voting process, especially in your community. So check out voters.org. Everything you need to vote and participation for the upcoming election is on there.
and it's vote.org, vote.org. Um, I know in other news, um, a man in the Wendy's parking lot quickly became a medical emergency. A worker at the fast food place noticed someone down and grabbed his coworker, Alexandria Cowherd, for help. She called 911, but she says by the time she got to the man, he was purple blue in the face, wasn't responding and wasn't breathing. After Cowherd conducted several compressions, he did the snoring thing again and took a gas of air. Cowherd said the whole ordeal took 15 minutes. And
In,
oh my bad.
in my mind, it was taking a real long time for people to get there. Said Kyle Hurd. Emergency crews took him to the hospital. This 22-year-old just so happened to be a CPR trained. Just so happened to be CPR trained. She learned the life-saving technique during the senior year in high school. Right now, she's working at Wendy's while going to school at BCTC to become a certified nursing assistant. Talk about the importance of stepping up in an emergency, if possible, and learning CPR. So that's like right place, right time, right person. Um, kudos to that. I seen a situation that happened like that in FedEx. Um, I'm glad that as a manager, I am CPR trained, certified, heartbeat trained, certified. So that is important because you never know what could happen at a time, and you might be called up. So big kudos out to Alexandria Cohert.
Yeah. Uh, if you could take anything from it, I think everybody should go and get certified. They usually have those type of things in your community at community centers, and a lot of jobs that have to deal with the youth or aid and help and attendance or swimming. They make you get CPR certified. Um, but it's always good to know that stuff. If you don't know that, at the end of the day, you always want to be able to have 911 accessible. Um, but the more you know, uh, if you know the Heimlich, if you know how to do CPR, some people may need their ribs cracked.
Hmm.
Um, just the more that you know, is the better. That's why I always try to encourage people in their off time or their spare time. You don't have to party all the time, or you don't have to watch TV and just waste hours. You can literally pick up certifications after certification, and it may not be necessarily used at that moment. You may not turn it into a business every time, but when somebody calls on you, when you're in that type of situation, it's always good just to have skills, um, because if you're looking to, get a job or get out of working, or you want to, become floating contractor on certain things, this is the avenue to go.
Hmm.
Um, but wealth and health and proper protocol to be safe, you never can go wrong. I'm always going to be pro that because that's how you that's how you save a life. That's how you may save your own life. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? When you by yourself, those are good things to remember because you may be able to, give yourself compression, or you could feel certain things too. So you may be able to go get help before you pass out, or have a shortness of breath. Um, you could be able to explain to people before you just engulfed and then you by yourself or you're around, you know, kids. I think it's really big to make sure, you know, your teenagers, especially if you're like a single parent, or you're an elder being you know helped taken care of by a teenager or your grandkids or something. It's good to get them certifications at the earliest possible age that they can get, because those are the people that are in the house at most times. You know, it's always most times there's always somebody young or a teenager in the house. You know, that way they can watch the younger kids. Like I say, they can look after the elder who may be in the house. But it's I think it would behoove a lot of households to make that proper protocol to get their teenagers, once they become 13, 14, to get this proper certification so they can begin to help save their life. I also think that it would be good to, you know, that's a good time to start getting them trained and equipped with firearms. You know what I'm saying? And the importance of protecting the household and protecting themselves with the firearm at an early age, because that is big. That's a part of safety as well. And then that way we wouldn't have as many, you know, kids out here just shooting guns and not hitting targets and, you know, dealing with emotions if nobody taught them the proper firearm techniques in the safety, firearm safety. It goes hand in hand with CPR safety. So yeah, so I think that would very much so help a lot of people to get that certification. Also wanted to speak on a story that I seen scrolling up Instagram, and it was talking about, according to the University of Minnesota Duluth, a football player, Ryan Reed, died at Essentia Health in Duluth on Tuesday. He was 22 years old. His family says he died of a genetic heart condition that no one knew about until he went into cardiac arrest 1 week earlier following a football team workout in the weight room. I've seen countless stories like this, and then, like I said, I've seen it's either Coach K, Steve Nash, or Steve Kerr. One of them are like covering the stories. I think it's Steve Nash, as a matter of fact, but on a lot of the athletes who took the COVID vaccine. And that's one of the main questions that I have, because they're saying that it's genetic, but it came out of nowhere. And most things that are genetic, that means it's being passed on. What I've learned with genetics is it's not mainly the genes, it's the habits that are passed on. In this case, somebody 22 just passing out, having a heart attack or anything in that nature, I think it has something to do with the vaccine. So my first thing I would ask, was he vaccinated? And then if so, then that's your answer. These weird things, they don't just fall out of the sky, man. When you're sitting there, your parents know you best. So they just said it's a genetic, it's a genetic heart issue that came out of nowhere. So it doesn't come out of nowhere if it's passed on. So somebody should have known, being as though nobody did know. I just think you have to check what this young man has been putting in his body, as well as if it wasn't a vaccine. I mean, you do have to check things like those energy drinks. You have to check things like cocaine. You got to check things like performance enhancement drugs, and not taking the right amount of water, because a lot of things like creatine and supplements, they call for water. Yeah, they call for water, and your kidneys will fail, they will collapse, but your heart rate will go up tremendously because they're there to give you a boost. They're there to enhance your metabolism and the things that are already going on to speed up your heart rate. And he was just following the workout, which means his heart rate was already up.
Pumping.
So those are some of the things that I would really want to see and want to know. Again, if you are in the sports background, I encourage everybody to do everything naturally. If you're not in sports, I mean, you know, and you're just living, you know what I mean, we encourage everybody, especially I encourage everybody to go plant-based, to get out of the realm of processed foods, to get out of the rim of a heavy sugar diet, to get rest, because that's another thing you have to check with the heart rate, and with things, shutting down on you. Are you getting the right amount of rest? Was he under stress? Um, all those things are things I think about. But my number one thing that I go to is, did they take that shot? And why? And then from there, you start asking about those other things. But above all, him being another athlete, who didn't do anything but have love for the game, anything wrong, to our knowledge, but have love for the game. I just send my heart out and my prayers and condolences out to him, his family, the team, his teammates, and I just pray that more athletes and more people just take this stuff seriously, to always go get checkups. This is why, be it you healthy or not, you're supposed to get a physical every 6 months, just to keep that proper line. Even if you're holistic, I still go to the doctor every 6 months just to get a checkup, and then they let me know things like being in a plant-based diet. A lot of things call for us to get more intakes of B12, and more things for our iron, because a lot of people who become plant-based, they have iron deficiencies and may become anemic. So it's always good to go, and then you go from there. Yeah, very sad case, man. I'm tired of seeing this as well. People just collapsing. I know we seen, if you go on YouTube and just type in players collapsing on the field in the last 2 years, it's a compilation up there now. Players falling on the field, players falling on the court, and can't nobody seem to.
And that's all the way down to middle school.
Yeah, they can't seem to find out where it's coming from, but that's where I think it's coming from.
Yeah, man.
I think.
So that's the reason why we do this. That's the reason why we try to get these small, big, large stories out there, especially the ones that surround us and that's really immediate to us. We try to get that out there to y'all because, like I said, this is a small story. Yeah, it's been on the internet, but it's really not broadcast like it's supposed to be. So we ask that y'all push it too, and anything that we put up here, that we ask that y'all share it too. Like always, man, we appreciate y'all. We love y'all. This is the Leaders Only digital show and podcast, live streaming every Sunday at 2:30. We here on site today at our regular, normal location, the Garden, Temple Hills, Maryland. This is season 4, episode 8. We brought to you by Mentor Change, and Tone Drone TV. I am your host, Kendall.
And I am Samaj, and it's What a Change Mentoring
Inc. Sorry about that. We always ask that you like, subscribe, click the bell, comment, email us at leadersonly22@gmail.com. If you miss us, you can pound replay in the comment section. Any topics or anything of that nature, anybody that's stressing out, that's going through any problems, you can always hit 988. You can always email us. You can always DM us. I am Kendall Callahan on Facebook. On Instagram, I am The Touch. And my cleaning company, or you can DM me for fitness at Kendall's Touches on IG.
And you can follow me at mentalhealthchef.com, and it has everything that I'm a part of up there, and every product, piece of clothing, or anything that you're looking for, consultations. It's all up there. The temperature is changing, the seasons are changing, so it's a good time to build your immune system. As you can see, it's raining and it's cold where we are up in the Northeast. So if you can get your hands on some local raw honey, it's good just to eat a tablespoon a day. Get you some echinacea, elderberry. It's a great time to load up on ginger, cayenne pepper, calendula, and anything that keeps the throat from being dry. So stay hydrated. You want to drink hot water with lime. Again, every day. 2 times a day if possible, so it can, break down that gastro lining, so it can break down your digestive system. And you can start moving that waste out, because if you have waste in your system right now, as well as the weather changing and then the chemtrails in the sky, and then you're probably dehydrated, well then that's an automatic sign that you're going to be getting sick soon. So a great way to, test your immune system and test your wellness and your health is to not get sick during this time.
Also, big shout outs to El Capitan team for them opening up their first establishment out on the West Coast. Big shout out to Deuce. Big shout out to Samaj on that.
For sure. We got the showroom out there, and we got some stuff coming, man. We got some stuff coming. I was looking at a video. My sister actually sent it to me. It's dope to see my sister, get more open to consciousness now and come into, awakening. But she sent me a video, about people being chosen and people being righteous and living that path and choosing that path. But in the video, it was just talking about, when you make a decision to, clean your life up and get yourself together and want better, how people don't talk about the dark side of it, and it being a time where I know a lot of people still celebrate holidays, but depression is coming around now. And I'll just tell you now, in the journey and walk of self, it's lonely, it's sad, it's mad, it's every emotion. And a lot of people think that it's just beautiful and peace, that you're always just going to be chirpy and all that. But the first thing is you got to face your own traumas, You go through all your heartache and everything that holds you back from flying. So give people grace, man. If you see people quiet, if you see people just not in their self, don't assume. If anything, man, have a conversation, and try to encourage people, not to lean on having to fall into the importance of the monetary value of a holiday, because then that way they will get out of what society is telling them that they must have and that they gotta pay for and they gotta buy. If you need your bills paid, pay your bills, man. A lot of these, like I said, these holidays are nothing but rituals. I'm not here to stand up on a soapbox and preach at you, but if we're going to talk truth, we're wasting a lot of our money and casting spells at the same time. So it'll be good to, get closer to those people who are your people. But when you make a conscious effort and a conscious decision to heal and want to live your life through love and want better and more for your own self, it's okay, to go through every emotion, but it's also okay to not have to suffer and be places you don't have to be, even if that means being alone. And to those who have enough heart and enough wherewithal to see people are getting quiet and their actions are changing, even if it's for the better, they may be going through hardship at that time, that it would be good to offer a conversation, just a basic conversation. And with that conversation, lend more of your ears than your words. Let your words just be, the questions that you ask. But a lot of people just need ears right now so they can have people hear where they're coming from, and then people to understand so they can have some understanding and some understanding and some overstanding. One thing that we always push for is communication. But if nobody comprehends what you're communicating, then you'll feel even lonelier than you started. So have a great week, and thank you guys.
Peace.